Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of On the Mic with Mike. I am your host, Mike Larkin, and joining me today is adult star, content creator, and an amazing one at that, Miss Maddie Cross. How are you, Maddie?
I'm doing great. Enjoying my weekend, definitely.
Oh, absolutely. The weekend is here. Next week is Thanksgiving, the holidays. What a time for everybody, getting together with the family. So I got to say, no better way to spend a weekend with yourself and the amazing people that listen to this fine program. So I got to say, first and foremost, before we get started, I've been seeing a lot of your work on your socials and just everything in general within your films. You've been doing a hell of a job, man.
Well, thank you. I'm trying to keep myself busy.
You're very welcome, and busy is always good, and staying positively proactive, as we all should. I got to ask you, because getting into this industry, there's a lot of grind, there's a lot of content creation, and there's a lot of putting yourself and your best foot forward. How did you get involved into the adult entertainment industry? What kind of gravitated you towards the content creation side of things?
Well, I originally started out as a cam girl. I've been a cam girl since 2007. Definitely one of the veterans in the business. And I still cam. The mainstream shooting and things like that just came about as a fluke, honestly. My husband had asked me one day, he said, is there anything you've wanted to do that you haven't done yet? And I was like, well, yeah, there kind of is. I've always wanted to be like in a magazine, So his first thought was, well, let me go ahead and shoot some stuff off to score and see what happens. And a week later, I didn't even know that he shot the pictures down to him or anything like that. He did this without me even knowing. And a week later, I am in Miami shooting. And I was totally floored, because I was 56 at the time. And my thought was, I'm too old for this. I'm too old to be getting into this, I didn't realize that there's a whole genre for GILFs, and now that I technically am a grandmother, it opens up a whole new arena for me. And so when I went down and I shot with Score, my next thing, I thought, well, now I've got to get into content creation. I've got to start really getting my name out there. And that's what got me started.
Wow. I look at it first and foremost, as they say, age ain't nothing but a number, because GILFs, and you are a very sexy one at that. Very beautiful human being. I put that with the utmost sincerity and respect towards you, Miss Maddie Cross. But God dang it, man. First and foremost, what I love about this too as well is you talk about the cam modeling side of things. I mean, it takes a lot of confidence. It takes a lot of poise. And not only that, but you get to see a lot of great people in that community, because from the cam modeling side of things, the interaction, much like we'll get into with the OnlyFans and what we see now in the adult entertainment industry, the cam modeling side of things, there's a lot of everything that really goes into that is really awesome to see.
Oh, yeah. There's definitely a lot. And I have formed a lot of really great friendships with a lot of my clients that have been following me since day one. When I first started camming. So, it's nice. I like to be able to connect with my following and stuff. So I have a lot of fun with it.
Absolutely. And I think in the day and age of how the evolution of the adult entertainment industry has come from the 80s and 90s, especially to now, I got to ask you, because you put out a lot of great content within your OnlyFans, another community where a lot of people have accumulated money and really done their thing to showcase their stuff both internally and externally. I wanted to ask you, what do you think about how OnlyFans has really kind of taken over, not just since COVID, but we see a lot of people getting into it, including yourself and many others. It's become such a hotbed for content creation.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I love the fact that we have a place where we can do our own content and have control over it. It's nice to shoot with the mainstream studios. The exposure is always good. But bottom line, it comes down to us having control over our own content and being able to shoot whatever we want to shoot. And OnlyFans has really just done so much for the adult content creators. In that fact.
Oh, absolutely. I think what's great about it too is as well as how we all have a platform. If you really look at it at itself, life in itself as an art form, we're all looking to apply our crafts. And I think those who apply their crafts in amazing fashion, much like yourself, It broadens the horizons. It opens up people's minds. And I think you can concur with me on this. Everybody, with the variety that we have, especially within the adult entertainment industry, everybody has their unique sides. Everybody has their preferences. So in a world in today's day and age, especially where we're more open-minded to something that was once taboo, it's great to see people not only expanding their horizons and really opening up with oneself and letting their freak flag fly, so to speak, but it's great to see how everybody coming together, showcasing their preferences, and really, like, boom, here we are. We're normalizing a lot really right now.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. Just and I mean, there are things that that I hadn't done before that I started experimenting with, and come to find that I enjoy it. So it's like I tell everybody, don't don't let any type of fetish or kink that you have hold you back. Explore it, have fun with it. That's what life's all about.
As you should. And I mean, you look at from like you talk about, you were thinking, always want to do magazines and stuff. I mean, you look at the marketing side of things. We've seen so many magazines, from the Sports Illustrateds, the Playboys, the Muscle and Fitnesses, everything that really showcases a beautiful woman for their external beauty, their internal beauty, and their overall foundation. I look at a woman like yourself. I'm going to say this right now. For those that have not seen this beautiful woman over here doing her thing on the socials, you have a lot of beautiful imagery from your shots and just everything, man. You really can take a great photo, man. I've been really enjoying what you've been putting out as far as that goes, and the overall media, so to speak, side of things.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I have a lot of fun, taking pictures and getting video done for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you look at so many great events that really come into fruition. I got to ask you about Exotica as well, because Exotica is one of these places where we talked about the community side of things, but meeting so many great fans, uniquenesses, the preferences, connecting and building a network, so to speak. I want to ask you about Exotica, because that is a bunch of fun, and it's just a great conglomeration just for everybody getting involved with it.
It is. I absolutely love going to the Exotica conventions. They're so much fun. You know, you can't find a better place to network, honestly. Get out there and meet so many different creators, and honestly open your eyes up to things that you never thought you'd try before. It's really cool. And it's, what I, aside from being able to meet everybody like that, the amount of content that you're able to create during that 4-day span of the event is, I mean, it's priceless, honestly. I mean, you get so much.
Oh, you do. And I think not only is just what I always say with the content creation, I think with you can agree with me on this, Miss Maddie Cross, it's the consistency that goes into it. You're always staying consistent, which not only builds your audience connections and networks, but in anything in life, especially in this forefront where things can come this week and then go that next week, because everything kind of becomes disposable nowadays. The consistency is so key in the adult entertainment industry and everything. You have to be consistent with what you do.
Right, exactly. And you can't have lulls where you're not creating. You've constantly, even if I'm just here at the house doing some solo stuff, you've got to constantly be creating something and keeping your name out there in front of people.
1000%. And I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, especially in today's day and age, how social media has really taken over. There's pros and cons to everything. There's good and bad. And I look at it from a stance like this. With what you're doing, I think, especially with today's day and age in society, I think what you're doing not only is positive, much like all the content creators are, but you're putting yourself out there that not only can you inspire and encourage within your work, but your overall foundation. I think a lot of people can gravitate towards a lot of things in today's society. And especially really gravitating towards your work is awesome to see, because a lot of people have that gravitational pull, and you sure do.
Well, thank you. I hope that what I do inspires some of the older ladies out there who have that mindset of, I'm too old to be doing this. If it's something you want to do, get out there and do it. Just have fun with it.
Hell to the yeah. And first and foremost, like we mentioned, age ain't nothing but a number. But I mean, like you mentioned, and I'm going to put this into the forefront, the GILFs categories, much like yourself, and I include the hotness here. But the thing, too, is like there's a category for everybody. We mentioned the variety and stuff. But if you're going out there, and what I love about your films, and I see it, I know we all see it, the facial expressions, the subtleties, intricacies, and nuances, what a lot of people gravitate towards is you look like you're having fun. We can tell you're having fun. And that goes within a film. It has people, that's how people really engage with it, because you can tell you're having fun, and it really does show.
Yeah, and I do. I enjoy what I do. Um, and I think it makes it so much easier for people to relate to me because um, I'm I I'm just a normal person that's just having fun, just that's it. And I think too that being a GILF and my body type as well makes me more realistic. It makes me somebody that they can relate to and can in their mind actually attain to be with, you know, because I'm normal. I mean, I'm not the model type. I'll put it that way. Um, so I think that's what my main draw is. A lot of people feel like, hey, she's a just normal person, just putting her life out there.
I think what it is too, and I like that you brought that point up now. I think it's the authenticity, it's the genuinity that really shines through. And number two, I'm going to say this right now: you got the curves, the word spins the verb, man. You have a lot of great curves and everything. We'll put it to the forefront. You got that external beauty on point. You're on fleek. But I look at it like this: it's truth. Truth is truth, my friend. But I look at it like this: if you have it, if you got it, flaunt it, as they say. But
Yeah.
we got to let it rock with it,
Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. My camera got a mind of its own for a second there. Sorry about that.
No worries. Well, yeah, it's like if you got it, flaunt it. Just let it fly. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the beautiful thing about the industry. You know what I'm saying? Like, and your body type, like again, it appeals to a lot of people. And what I like to call it's the RDSA that it comes to women, folks. It's the real deal sex appeal. Let it fly. Let it fly.
Yes. Yes. Well, I always tell everybody, when I finally grow up, they ask me what I want to be, and I'm like, honestly, when I finally grow up, I would like to be up there in the ranks with Sally D'Angelo, Rita Daniels, women like that, because they're my role models. That's who I look up to whenever I'm shooting or looking at content to do.
Oh, 1000%. I mean, you have integral figures like that. And I think what's great about it too is within our surroundings and what we really gravitate towards and what we kind of implement into our styles. We see a lot of great things that we kind of put into from the storytelling side of things into said films. And I'm going to say it right now. Speaking of your films, I've seen a lot of great films that you've done. I saw the one you did with Lana Smalls and Dylan, where you're at the doctor's office and boom, very hot scene, very integral part. I wanted to ask you about that because we're going to get into your scenes here. And again, right now, high quality content, fun, and just overall sensuality exposed and really accentuated. I want to ask you that about that particular scene because god dang it, man, that's a hell of a trip to the doctor's office, if you will.
Unlike any trip I've ever had before.
Yep.
that scene right there was an absolute hoot to shoot. I had so much fun doing that scene. And to be honest with you, I had a hard time not looking at Lana because I was just like, she's so hot and she's just adorable too. But they were so much fun to work with, both of them. And, the producer that was on set and everything, he was just a hoot as well. So anytime I get a chance to shoot with people like Nookies, they are absolutely awesome to work with.
First of all, I would not blame you as well in that experience. For those who have not seen Lana Smalls, what a looker. Just an absolute beautiful human being. But I think what I loved about it too as well is, again, stuff like that is very entertaining, and it leads to what we got to see, the raw passion and sensuality. I mean, you mentioned earlier, the stable hand with you and Thor Johnson was just another one. You want to talk about hoots, like very entertaining. It really showcases you because you're about the life with the farm and everything, so you had that realism to it, and it works. Sometimes stuff that's so authentic and real really makes for a hell of a film and just overall entertaining value,
Yes. And I love doing things like that I can pull the farm into, get any kind of barn shots, or even, I'm working on an idea right now, for a deer hunting type of scene that I want to do, other than the one that, I had done with Thor 4. This one's going to be, I'm aiming for me by myself out bow hunting. So we'll just kind of see what happens with it from there and see if I happen to run into another hunter in the process.
I like that. I'm going to say right now, you're putting the creative juices flowing out there. Like I said, I like that. I like that little sneak peek right there. I'm sure that will come into fruition. And I think a lot of us, much like myself, cannot wait to see said film. But I want to go into this as well, man. First of all, I give you kudos, not only, the discipline and everything that goes into it, but the farming side of things and the hunting. Again, there's a lot of discipline and there's a lot of everything that goes into it. I got to give you kudos because that just shows your hard work at its finest,
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the horses out there tend to keep me very, very busy. So it's kind of, it's a quite a balance to work out to where I'm able to take care of them and still do this. It's like when I'm not in the barn, I'm in front of a camera or on a computer doing something.
Hey, but I think that's what's great about it too, as well, is because a lot of people view pets it's almost like they're a part of the family, which and then necessarily because look at it from a stance too as well. Very integral parts of your life, from your overall tenure with what you do at the barn and what you do in front of the camera. I think what only is very appealing about that as well, it's multifaceted, and everything that we do in life, we're always multifaceted. We're sticking our toes and dipping our toes into sometimes the deep end, but you really have to explore and expand yourself. And I think being multifaceted is so key in everything that you do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people don't realize too that I've also got an artistic side to me. I also I paint and I draw and do all of the artsy fartsy crafty stuff. So it's that side people haven't really seen of me yet, and I'm going to slowly kind of go that out to them so where they can see all of the real me.
Well, I think that's a dynamo in itself, man, the artsy craftsy and everything that goes into it. I think what I love about that too as well is, again, we mentioned the multifaceted, and I say that as a very key component in today's forum. But what's cool about it too as well is that's how we show things, because you never know who you're going to pick up as far as viewership goes. And again, you never know who you're going to just boom put into it. And speaking of put into it, man, you put a lot of work into not only your films, but everybody that you've connected with thus far. I saw some of your stuff with Tasha T-Rex and a very, very hot scene. She's another beautiful human being. You and Tasha had great chemistry together on film. I wanted to ask you about that because very petite, beautiful young lady doing her damn thing. I want to ask you about working with Tasha.
Tasha was great to work with. I had a lot of fun with her when I was in Vegas, and I think we have plans of getting together again in January during the AVNs. I'll be out there for about a week for that, and I think her and I are working on doing another scene and getting some more stuff out there for everybody.
I look at it like this, and what I love about how you mentioned Vegas, and if there's any hot market for the adult entertainment industry and content creation, besides it being the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, man, what a time to be in Las Vegas, especially for adult entertainment and just everything in general, man. Such a hotbed for such conglomeration, such commodities like yourself and many people in the adult world.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I love it because it's a short flight for me from North Dakota, so I can get out to Vegas fairly easy. And it's like if I have people that hit me up on social media that want to shoot, other content creators and stuff, I get enough of them lined up, I'll go ahead and I'll book a flight and go out there and just hang out for a couple of days and shoot content while I'm there.
As it is, man. And first off, shout out to North Dakota, man. Shout out to the Dakotas for just repping and doing their thing. Much love to y'all. No, and I mean that in the most sincerity and respect, because the Dakotas have given us great events like Sturgis and just a great tight community. Very much a love. In fact, I love that. First of all, my bad. I got to give a shout out to the Dakotas, man. Shout out to North Dakota. Hell yes.
Yeah, we're not quite the porn mecca, but there's a few of us up here.
And much like yourself included, man. And I look at it like this, it doesn't matter where you're from. I look at it from a stance too, man. Home is where the heart is, number one, but number two, it's right in the soul for me. I think that's great. You can't go wrong with the roots, right?
Right. That's right.
Oh my goodness, yes. But no, I look at it from a stance too as well. Anywhere around the world, so to speak, y'all are doing your thing. And that I really do love about it too as well. You've gotten to meet so many amazing people, especially one who's a legend in the adult entertainment world. And I got to see you and sexy Vanessa do your thing. I want to ask about Vanessa because my goodness gracious, I remember her back in the days of Naughty America with my friend's hot mom with Miss Ava Devine back in the day. And like she is one that's really expanded and really showed up and showed out as long as I can remember. Talk about working with her, man, because god dang. Again, it's energy.
I just love her. Oh my God, do I love her. And her accent, I just love hearing her talk. But she is so sensual and just, she just, man, she is definitely something to work with.
Look at it from a stance too as well. I look like a woman like Sexy Vanessa. We mentioned the legendary status here. But again, like you mentioned, her accent, how she flows in her scenes. I look at it like this too as well. That raw sensuality. I mean, we always talk about like making pop culture references. It's like when you watch Zach and Miri make a porno, for God's sake. When Seth Rogen and Elizabeth Banks are in that scene and they're into it just because of their connection that they have. Raw passion really goes a lot of way. It's lovemaking, it's sensuality. Again, it's the evoking emotions that people don't even realize, and especially behind the scenes to put into the quality content, the lighting and everything. Layers and levels to everything, Miss Maddie Cross.
Oh yeah. Tons of work go into those small scenes that we do. It just the amount of behind the scenes prep and everything like that. And then like you said, the forming the connection with the person that you're shooting with makes a world of difference on how your scene's going to come out.
I look at it like this, and I always say this about life. If you don't love what you're doing, then why do it? But also at the same time, too, you know what you're going into. And especially first and foremost, it's a business side of things. If you really look at it, everything in life is a business. It's about being the best representation of your presentation. It's business, it's build up, it's quality. There's so many things that go into it, like we mentioned. But number two, it's values at the end of the day, it's principles. And at the end of the day, it's respect. Goes a long way.
Oh yeah, definitely does.
And I will say this, speaking of respect, I got to give you much respect because not only Sexy Vanessa, Lyric Sky, we'll put that into the forefront, and Devin Johnson. We're going to start with Devin first before we get to Lyric. Yo, Devin Johnson and you, another beautiful woman, very tall, statuesque woman. Let's put that to the forefront. My goodness gracious. What another beautiful body type, looks much like yourself. But I got to say, 6 foot, this woman is tall. She's vivacious. She's voluptuous. My goodness gracious, what a looker. Talk about working with Devin.
Yes, Devin, man. She's a she's a funny one. First off, she has a sense of humor like you can't imagine. It's hard to shoot with her and stay serious because she is so freaking funny. She's always cracking jokes. But aside from that, though, I mean, yeah, it connecting with her and shooting with her, we had so much fun shooting with her. And in fact, she may be visiting me here at the ranch to come and do some stuff out here as well. So we're kind of laying low on that until we know for sure what we're going to do and everything. And I may end up seeing her in Vegas possibly.
Oh my goodness. Well, all right now. Put more content into that world, putting just
Yeah.
friggin' manifesting and putting out there. First of all, if y'all go to the ranch, I cannot wait to see what y'all cook up, so to speak. I look at it like this, man. Again, we talk about these many different statuettes, many different body types that I love about it. And I mean, as a grown man, I will say this. Now in my 30s and being raised by the woman that I was raised with, I've always loved and appreciated and respected women just like yourself that really go out there and not only do the damn thing, but really showcase that voluptuosity factor. And another one we're going to put into the voluptuosity character category here. Man, Lyric Sky, seeing a lot of beautiful imagery between the two of you. And Lyric Sky is another one who's out there busting her butt, man.
She is, and she is doing such a wonderful job. I mean, she's another one of those that she's a very sensual person. So with our scene that we did, um, everything just kind of just flowed so naturally with her. Um, and what I really like about working with her is everything she does. Her producer, her camera person, it's all female, and you rarely see that in the business. To have a female videographer on set directing everything, and it's really cool, and it does make things a little more laid back, I find.
I think what I like about how you put into the forefront, I'm going to give a shout out to the ladies here, much and rightfully so here. I look at it from a stance too as well. Not only all badasses, number one, but number two, creative minds being surrounded by all female sets and just everything that goes into that. Very laid back, like you mentioned. I also got to look at it from a stance too as well. The empowerment side of things, because we got a lot of creative ladies out here in today's forefront. And also, I'm going to say this right now, y'all have been kicking our butts as far as just a lot of things that go into fruition. You're very strong. You're very empowering. You're very much into the forefront. Much love to the ladies, because it really does make a great set. We got a lot of talented ladies out there in front and behind the camera.
There you go.
It's very true. We got to give the acknowledgement here, folks. Like I said, it's a respect thing. Absolutely. I mean, I always been one who has actually always admired that too, because I think for when it's a female cast, all female cast or what have you, it's a different take, much like a different variety, like we say, with a man and a woman, or man, woman, woman, how many you want to identify the scene, but it's that overall, just again, raw passion, just overall femininity, as well as the, dare I say, je ne sais quoi that goes into it to put that into the forefront. It's a different type of je ne sais quoi. So.
Yeah. Yes, definitely.
Now, I will say this, speaking about some je ne sais quoi up in here, man, y'all and Misty Rain, I'm going to put this into fruition as well. Another beautiful lady. Seen a lot of the two of you. You've done multiple content with her. Misty Rain's another one. Very beautiful, very sensual, much like the ladies we discussed today in today's forum. Talk about Misty Rain, because I got to say, she brings that thunder, she brings that lightning, and that rain. Whew.
You know, what I like about Misty is she doesn't blow smoke up people's asses. She will just, she's honest. She tells you what she thinks. Super fun to work with as well. And I have to say, the scene that next to Lyric Sky, the scene that Misty Rain and I did, that was, I think, those two were the only two scenes that when I did my scenes with women, that there was never a break where we had to redo something. Everything just flowed through so smooth, beginning to end. And again, that's the chemistry thing, you know, and just being able to connect with her.
I think what I love about how you put that too is, and again, very key component in today's forum, the grind never stops, number one. And number two, I look at it from being it very smooth. That's a pro right there. And in itself, you don't need to take breaks. You go right through. And like you mentioned, she doesn't blow smoke up people's asses. I think sometimes we need not only that bluntness and that honesty, but realness is key in everything. We talk about authenticity and genuinity. Sometimes you need to be real with it.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I've gotten some flack for that myself. So it is what it is.
I can tell you right now, especially, and I'll put this into the forefront about how sweet this lady is right here. Very, again, setting this up and doing prep, I got to say, very accommodating, very comfortability, and that's what I'm about in my own right. So now I can appreciate your bluntness and rawness. Like I say, I mean that with the utmost sincerity and respect. You bring off the good vibes. You got some good energy, man. I appreciate it.
I'm a pretty laid back person for the most part, but you know, every so often I get a little flare up there where I just let people know what I think.
This is how it is, gosh darn it. You know what I'm saying? No, but I can respect that too. And what I love about that too as well is you have to be like that. I mean, and especially in today's society, man, you can't just be yes. Sometimes you got to say, hey, man, no, or what have you. Maybe we could do this. Input is key in everything.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
All righty, my blunt and honest amiga over here. We're going to talk about someone else here I got to put into the forefront. You and Lily James, man, another looker. We'll talk about the scene with Lily before we get into our final topics. But you and Lily, man, another beautiful human being. Oh, my goodness. Urge the word, spins the verb. Let's talk about Lily.
Oh, Lily, man, I miss Lily. I haven't seen her in a little while. I miss working with her. But yeah, when we shot, it wasn't this past October, it was last year when I went to Exotica, her and I shot together. We had actually connected in LA. I think I was out shooting for Mile High Media, shooting for Gilft.com. And she was out shooting for Team Skeet. And her and I managed to hook up on our own and kind of put our brains together and see if we couldn't come up with some stuff to do some scenes on our own to work together and everything. So that's where last year's Exotica came into play, where her and I got a couple scenes in together and everything. And she's another one. When the weather finally breaks and everything, we've got quite a few people that want to come up here and shoot up here in North Dakota on the property, which is going to be a pretty good lineup if we can get them all situated and get them all in here and stuff.
I'm sure you will. And I mean, I look at it like this, man, more on the home front, so to speak, and more of your travels, man. I got to say this. Well, where you are thus far in your journey in the adult entertainment industry, and shout out to all these fine folks that we mentioned, and shout out to everybody going out there and putting in the grind and putting in the work to deliver you such high quality content. I can't wait to see where your journey takes you, Miss Maddie Cross, and continued success going forward. I'm loving what I'm seeing.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
You are very welcome. And I got to say a couple final notes here, folks, before we close this out. I got to say Mike Tyson in the pop culture and the boxing world has always called himself the baddest man on the planet. Well, on today's show, folks, I'm with the hottest gilf on the planet, Miss Maddie Cross over here. Maddie, I'd love to have you back on. The Overture's here for a round 2. It's been such a blast picking your brain and a pleasure to speak with you today.
Well, thank you. I'd love to come back anytime you want to have me.
All right now. And before we do close this out, I always love asking this question before we do the final closings here. With the knowledge that you've obtained, as we all know, folks, in this lifetime, knowledge is power. You attain, you adapt, you grow. There's so much to learn, especially in this particular industry. What is some advice that you would give to the up-and-coming ladies in the adult entertainment industry, anybody that wants to get into it based off your knowledge thus far, really getting into it and showcasing, showing up, showing out, Cam, Molly, what have you, and your experience? What advice would you give them?
My advice would be to network your ass off, pick people's brains as much as you possibly can. There are a lot of creators out there like myself that's willing to help new people that are coming into the business. I do the same thing with my camming. If I have a new cam girl reach out to me wanting advice, I'm ready to toss it out at her and help out in any way that I can, because I was fortunate enough when I started to have somebody do that for me. So I like to return the favor. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask people questions. If you're getting started in the business, or you're interested in getting started in the business, network and talk to people, get as much information as you can.
Beautifully and eloquently and honestly said. Adhere and adhere to those words by the beautiful Miss Maddie Cross. And Maddie, I got to say, you mentioned AVNs in here. We got to give a shout out to our girl, Sophia Zaragoza, man. I'd love to see y'all doing the damn thing when we get the AVNs, man. Two beautiful ladies. Let's rock it. Let's rock it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We've already got our date set. We're definitely getting some scenes shot and everything. And I do believe Exotica Chicago, I do believe that her and I are going to have a booth at the event there.
Well, all right now, I will say this. For those that have seen the feisty and voluptuous Miss Sophia Zaragoza, you two are going to have some great chemistry, especially with what you both bring to the table. I am excited to see the finished product and that overall experience. And speaking of the experience, folks, y'all want to check out this voluptuosity factor and many beautiful women we have in today's content creation. Maddie Cross, where can we follow you on the socials, man? The floor is yours, man.
Okay. Let's see. On X, my tag is at MCTPLX1. I had to do this because Twitter didn't like me 3 times in a row. So, so I had to trick them. So what it stands for is Maddie Cross XXX, and then the number 1, but it's MCTPLX1. I'm also on OnlyFans at Maddie Cross VIP. And then I have my own website, maddiecross.com. I'm also over on Instagram, and that's Maddie Cross VIP. And then, of course, if anybody wants to email me, you can reach me at maddiecrossxxx@yahoo.com.
Beautifully said. All the links will be provided in the description below this show, folks. And I got to say, I like how you got around that. Just the abbreviations and the number 1, 2 is not a winner, 3 nobody remembers, the 1 and only, if you will. Man, I like that. I like how you got Twitter's a son of a bitch, man. 3 times, though. 3 times.
3. Yeah. I don't. And it was every time when I hit 10,000. Every time.
Son of a bitch. Son of a bitch.
what it was, but
And-
oh, and I'm also over on Blue Sky now too. I went over to Blue Sky and I believe, yeah, I got that at Maddie Cross VIP as well.
Here's the thing. I actually just started Blue Sky myself. I will say this. Out of both platforms, I'm looking forward to seeing where the Blue Sky takes us. And also just because it's a fun name. But number two, it's a good thing for people with social media and promotion because it's just another outlet. You know what I'm saying? People can always go, oh, the Twitter and the Blue. I'm like, look, you can do what you want. You can like what you like. You can not like what you like. But if it's another platform to promote our stuff, that's a win-win for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, I was like, I'm all on board getting over there, getting my name out and things like that as it grows.
Yes, ma'am. And y'all should give her a follow. She's a great follow. A lot of great content, beautiful imagery, and just overall updates you. You update us and you upgrade you, if you will, Miss Maddie Cross. If you want to follow this platform, Mike Larkin 92 is where you can subscribe to this YouTube channel to see this beautiful face and many other great talents of all facets of life for On the Mic with Mike and so many great contents. And if you want to follow yours truly on Twitter, SM Show under MCL92 and Larkin _92 and M Larkin MB on the Instagram front. And Maddie Cross, before we close this out, you are a woman of many, many amazing and wonderful and knowledgeable words. Do you have any final words for your fans who have been supporting you since day numero uno and people that have been just coming along this journey of yours?
Well, the main thing I would say is just keep an eye on things because I'm going to have a lot of new stuff coming out.
Hell to the yeah, and be on the lookout, man. Visualize but don't attack. Bobby Boucher, the water boy. And as always with this show, folks, as I always say, life is an art form. We're all applying our crafts. Continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion, and not just my mindset, but an overall ideal part of life. Beauty, strength, and dominance, the three key elements that make women the work of art that they are. And Maddie Cross, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for having me.
Come talk to me. I love the way you're on to me. Looking at you, looking like you're wondering if we're here for the same reason. And I bet you wanna lay in the sun, getting love drunk, sticking like honey. Yeah, I bet you're here for some fun with that someone, feeling that something. If you're looking for a good time, honey, I'm right here. I'm right here. If you're looking for a good life, good vibes, honey, I'm right here. I'm right here. And I'm waiting for you. And I love you in your summer skin. Looking at you, looking like you're into it. 'Cause we're here for the same reason. Yeah, I just wanna lay in the sun, getting love drunk, sticking like honey. Like honey. Yeah, 'cause I'm just here for some fun with that someone, feeling that something. There's something. If you're looking for a good time, honey, I'm right here. I'm right here. If you're looking for a good life, good vibes, honey, I'm right here. I'm right here. And I'm waiting for you. I'm right here. And I'm waiting for you. Come talk to me. I love the way you're on to me. Looking at you, looking like you're wondering if we're here